Michael Tsarion, before we go any further, give out your website for listeners that want to check it out.
Well, it's michaeltsarion.com and the new DVD on technology, architectsofcontrol.com.
Yeah, I was checking out the trailer for that. That looks really powerful. Tsarion is Tsarion, so michaeltsarion.com. Michael, now again, I don't know if the Queen of England's really related to Moses. I don't know if she's really related to the Egyptian pharaohs, BC. I don't know if the Sun King of France, was really related to Jesus' family. The point is, they believe they are. They take it deadly serious. And I've been inside Bohemian Grove. People say, "Oh, that's just a play, a mock human sacrifice." Well, regardless of what it is, those old men that I was with in that crowd of about 1,500 watching the ritual, they were in religious rapture. They were grinding their teeth. They were breathing heavy. Whatever the real ritual was over behind some black curtains from the trees across the water before they brought the baby, the small child, the effigy over to burn it before Lilith. But then, of course, these occultists use different names. They called it Moloch. I know that's the bull, but they call their owl Moloch. And they address it as a female and then as a male deity. And then it's all on video in my film, The Order of Death. And then we had somebody else sneak in who they then set up and sent to prison. Chris Jones, no relation to me. So, I mean, this is really going on. They really believe this, whether it's true or not. I know you, from your deep research in Europe and around the world, believe that there is some basis in fact in it. So let's continue on, Michael.
Well, that's right. Again, as far as I'm concerned, they believe it in their own heads. They're not only bloodline connection, they have the ideological henchmen who have sworn allegiance, for one reason or another. The basic fact is that my researchers did discover this connection to Egypt, not only there, but this the basic origin of the Knights Templar, the Order of Sion, just the very Judaic phrases, which actually are more correctly to say Egyptian atmist phrases.
Well, let me stop you right there. I mean, that's an absolute fact, and that's not even hidden. That in basic Masonic literature and basic magic literature, white and black, it's all about the keys of Solomon, Solomon's ring, the seal of Solomon. It's all about controlling these jinn, these entities, these angels. And Solomon was open about it was the secret of Egypt and the secrets of Greece and the secrets of Babylon and the secrets of all of these countries. And people then say, well, the whole New World Order is Judaic. No, it was the Jews that codified it and who were big on writing things down. And so when Alexandria got destroyed in Egypt and when Rome got destroyed in its libraries, it was the Judaics who carried on the mystery schools.
Right. Within that, not ordinary Jews, but this elite group, the
Levites.
Levitical level.
The Levites.
We're talking about the Kabbalistic, Levitical, Mosaic, and also what's called the Gaonim. This is a word that people have got to become familiar with because it explains the capital G that the Masons use. People want to pick up my Irish Origins of Civilization double volume. They're going to find chapter after chapter there showing this connection between the Judaic elites and the ancient pharaonics, and then how that percolates down into modern times through this occult, bloodline dragon court thread that people really need to be understanding about so they can not only decode the symbolism, but they can find out the roots of this tyranny, because we're here in the effects of the tyranny, but we need to know its origins as well. And the most amazing thing is that these guys mean business. They lost an empire in the past, and they subsequently experienced a old world disorder. And so everything that's being built now, students of the New World Order need to realize it's because they're trying to build a New World Order to replace an old. And
that's why their symbol is the pyramid and the all-seeing eye, which is the black sunshine.
Exactly. These people do worship the dark side of the sun. They can rightly be referred. Christians refer to them as Luciferians, and it's perfectly adequate.
And that's what the Nazis' secret highest was, the black sun. So and people say, how could the Zionists and the Nazis worship the same thing? Because it doesn't matter. All these people at the top worship the same deal.
How can it be that the same order of the Knights of Malta, the sovereign order of the Knights of Malta, can have members as extreme right as von Papen, and as Hermann Göring, and then 5 minutes later be initiating into their order people on the left as Nelson Mandela. I got a question for people as to why that would be. They got to realize that behind the lodge doors, we said earlier, none of these distinctions on the street level mean a damn. This is an entire, carnival, a danse macabre for people to get caught up in. It's just has no reality, and this is what people need to understand. If they study the symbolism long enough, if they track it through, and I've done like 30 years of research on this, so this is the age in which this information is now finally coming to light. These guys, not only do they fully believe it in their own minds, some of these kings and queens, like Louis XVI of France and various other potentates, have designed entire cities based on Egyptian symbolism to prove that they believe themselves as the new sun kings and sun pharaohs.
Yeah, that was the Sun King and called himself the Sun King. And then we had Francois Mitterrand admitting that he was channeling Lucifer and going on mountaintops to pray. Then they had the Japanese architect build a pyramid with 666 pieces of this gold pink glass, and then it has black pyramid inside. I mean, this is all right out in the open.
That's right. I never stop stressing, you see, even though I've written a lot on Ireland, the second book in the volume is dedicated to Egypt to show exactly that it came from a specific time, from a specific individual, a specific cult, a specific warped version of solar occultism, you see, and how this continues alive. That is why there are so many obelisks in Rome and in Vatican City. That's why Rome has certain, geomantic alignments that it does. Same thing applies to Washington, D.C. Same thing applies to Cologne, to Paris.
They
to
believe
London.
that they call in spiritual forces from another dimension. Now, again, whether you believe this or not, folks, the elite believe it. Explain the sacred architecture.
Well, that's right. And within Masonry, if you look at the highest degrees of Masonry, they have that Judaic aspect that you were talking about, Knights of the Kadosh, Knights of the secret, all of these weird terminologies they've got right there. People can see this in the design of the cities. They can, I have a huge collection of Masonic literature, so we're not making anything up. This is from the horse's mouth. You only need to go to the Albert Mackeys and to the actual Masonic encyclopedias. This is not hard to do, even though it takes a lot of time. But if people spend the time, to peruse our works, and we put this stuff on DVD, we put it in books, so it's there for people who don't have the time to do all this research to find out that America is not free. America has been colonized by the royals and the pharaohs of old, and America was ostensibly meant to be the last bastion against these oligarchs, these imperialists. What the people need to understand in America context particularly is that the imperialism is not gone away. The stuff that you're seeing now with the Amero coming in and the NAFTA and the CAFTA and the destruction of the American Constitution, this is a form of imperialism that has been insinuated.
And take Ireland. Ireland says no to the Lisbon Treaty, EU expansion, and then they say we don't care, we're going to bring it back up for another vote or implement it by fiat.
It's exactly the same in the way that it's a mafioso situation. They'll never this kind of vampire never goes away until it's invited across.
And going back to Egypt, we see it in the Old Testament and in the New. Over and over again, the Pharaoh would send out to the different slave groups he had and would kill a large portion of their children to keep the slaves at a lower population. You see the CPS today going out and kidnapping the children. It's all repeated, and they figured out thousands of years ago, thousands of years BC, how to control societies.
And I want to highlight something you just said a few minutes ago about the kind of dark forces that they're in league with. Those again, if people don't understand it, that's just too bad. But the fact is, these people do not act in just a material sphere of influence. They are very much tied into something off-world. They're tied into other dark angelic forces, and they have to offer up sacrifices on this planet to those beings that they're in league with. And that is what, in my view, is pretty much a lot of the child abduction, the wars, the world wars that we've experienced, and just the general appetite, or not the appetite, but the general everyday, the toxic, influx of trauma across the TV, you see, and in our world in general. They need anxiety. They want to keep people, crippled and
they are changing our neural pathways, showing us millions of simulated murders on TV, traumatizing us, where they now have university studies with the brain waves, where the area of the brain associated with pleasure, even in, quote, mainstream people, is lighting up when they see simulated murders, torture, death. They are turning us psychically into them.
I couldn't agree more, Alex. And, it's a situation of the normal, lower-level sadomasochism that people have, multiplied infinitely this constant appeal to the limbic and mammalian centers of the brain. And it's a diet until you get so used to it that you don't even know what reason is anymore. You can't critically look at anything. You have an immediate defense mechanism as soon as it's like most of these people that today you have the internet riddled with internet assassins and debunkers, so-called, quote-unquote. And these are people that I describe like the deer in the headlights of the oncoming truth movement who can't not stand that oncoming, juggernaut of truth.
And that's the next issue, is the enemy knows throughout history the human spirit rebels, goodness, the light, literally blots out their black sunshine, as they call it. And so they're doing everything they can with chemicals and microwaves and frequency pollution and radiation openly, and they write all this in their own documents that we've covered, and we cover in Endgame, Blueprint for Global Enslavement, to pollute our minds with the images, the toxins, all of it overlaid, the brainwashing through the television.